Mr. Speaker, may I join with my colleagues tonight and recommend this bill to this House for their support. And I'm going to simply appeal to those who are able to acknowledge that we do have a problem in our communities with loan sharks to just consider before you vote. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that yesterday some of us joined with Carol Beaumont and others who support her private member's bill, the Credit Reforms Responsible Lending Bill, and in front of the Parliament, and in a symbolic gesture attempted to use a net to catch a young man that was dressed in a shark suit. And in my mind, sir, that was a very powerful symbol which highlights what Carol Beaumont's bill is attempting to do. And it reminds me of a Samoan proverb, e manao le ia e manmanu le penga. E manao le ia e manmanu le penga. Literally speaking, Mr. Speaker, it means if you want to catch fish, you cannot be worried about tearing your net. Another meaning of this proverb could also be if you want to protect your people, to protect our people, to protect the vulnerable New Zealanders, we must build a stronger safety net. And the Credit Reforms Responsible Lending Bill is a small safety net in the overall scheme of things. It is a small step in efforts to prevent French lenders or loan sharks from charging excessive interest rates. It is a step change towards ensuring that loan sharks are more responsible when lending money, especially when lending money to vulnerable people. It is a small signal to unscrupulous lenders who are in a powerful position in an extremely free environment where they can charge any amount of interest, and that it is a signal to these loan sharks that their predatory behaviour in exploiting the poor, financially unsavvy people in their time of desperation, and saying to those loan sharks that that sort of behaviour is unacceptable in our community, in any city in New Zealand, and that the loan sharks' unbridled exploitation of desperate people is unacceptable to the Kiwi way of life. Mr. Speaker, the concept of interest is a difficult one for many Pacific people to get their heads around. But the concept is, from a Pacific eyes, is better understood when they use the word usury or usury in the Bible. And many, sir, who probably understand the term will recognize that it is promoted as evil. It is a bad thing that if you love your brother, then you're not going to be charging an arm and a leg simply when your brother is in need, or your sister for that matter. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that that's what this is about. People who are approaching loan sharks are going to them as a last resort. They are unable to get loans from banks. They are unable to get the help they need from credit unions. And so they go to these loan sharks in desperation for simple things like the rent that is now 2 weeks overdue, or the, jeepers, that was fast, or the electricity bill. And the loan sharks know that they are desperate. They know that these people are going to struggle with repaying it. And that is why, sir, that they add on those particular interests. And the minute somebody is unable to pay that loan, there are other costs that are added onto it. In a short example, a man who owed $300 to the Ministry of Justice, who confiscated his car, did not have $300. Went to the loan shark to borrow that money to get his car so he can use his car to go to work. Today, 3 or 4 months after, still paid the $300, but still paying interest from the loan shark that he borrowed the money from. So I want to say, sir, it is really predatory the way that they behave, the way that they advertise. They use people that are common to them in a friendly manner.
I regret to
And
advise
so
the member
I
that
would
his
ask
time
this
has
House
expired.
to support my colleague's bill.